Trainers, welcome back to another video. Today we have a coaching VOD review for you here. The student here sent a VOD of a loss looking for, thinking there's a win con somewhere, so we're going to find that win con, and it's actually a very interesting, very high level win con concept with potentially undercharging, but also maximizing the amount of damage that we're doing with the very last Pokemon, these two shield advantage kind of situation that ends up turning into a loss. But I figured we'll take a look at that, and I'm just going to share this specific section right here with you guys. So we do the damage, and we lose CMP on the next Mud Bomb to get the kill. 0 shields to 0 shields. Boom, the Mud Shot comes in. Unfortunately, we lose CMP. So if we were 1 Mud Shot ahead, could we have won? And let's see where that would have happened. So I'm going to bring this all the way back to this matchup here. So I have done all the energy tracking, written down where everyone's at this point. So at this point, Azumarill, it's going to throw an Ice Beam. It is at 0 energy. So when it throws the Ice Beam, there's an Ice Beam earlier, this Ice Beam, that we're going to let it go because it's going to KO the Annihilate. Now it's at 0 energy. So Azumarill is Bubble into Ice Beam. Bubble is 11 energy. Ice Beam is 55, so it's 5 bubbles per Ice Beam every time. And you can't store 2 because 55 times 2 is over 100, 110. Can't store 2. You can almost store 2. So Power Up is fine. We could go for Body Slams, and the reason being that we don't actually want to win this matchup. So the state of the game right now, Lickitung is 1 charge move from basically any Pokemon away from dying. We have a full health, 0 energy, unused, unseen Whiscash. So our opponent doesn't know we have Whiscash, and we have a shield advantage 2-1. The Azumarill is almost dead, and they also have a Lickitung very close to being KO'd as well. I think it throws this move, and it dips right there. So our win con is to get as much energy on the Whiscash before going into the next battle, the next Pokemon, as possible. And switch timer I think it might be about to be up, but it's not. Our opponent's switch timer is not up. They switched this Azumarill in. But this problem here is that HP there on the Azumarill is a sliver of HP. So that's only, no matter what move we use, that's only 1 fast move worth of energy. And we want as much as possible, especially because we have, again, this shield advantage. We know one of the Pokemon in the back is a low health Lickitung, and it also has just thrown a charge move. So it's not, the Lickitung doesn't have a whole lot of threat against a full health double shielded Whiscash here. Even if we only have 1 shield, the Lickitung's not that scary because we can kill it in 1 Mud Bomb, and we're going to outpace the Lickitung always, no matter what. So we need really, we could afford to come in with Whiscash and use a shield to farm down the Azumarill. So throwing this Body Slam here, the problem becomes that the Azumarill is just too low health. Luckily, the Azumarill throws the Ice Beam, which actually really helps us out because now it's back to, again, 0 energy. It's throwing every time on 5 is what it's been doing all game. We get 1 Mud Shot to kill the Azumarill. They're not switching out, and comes in. So we haven't seen our opponent's Annihilate yet. But if we don't kill the Azumarill here, and we leave it at, a little, maybe instead of charging all the way, we charge just a tiny bit and it's in a farm down range, our opponent either switch clock comes up and they switch out. We still get an energy advantage by at least 1 turn. They switch out, but now they're locked. So they are fighting a straight up 1v1 where we have 2 shields to their 1. And they don't have their switch timer to use that Lickitung to catch a charge move, to soak up energy at any point because their switch timer is down. But since it's only 1 Mud Shot, it's not worth trying to save that switch timer, right? So we get the 1 Mud Shot, and our opponent's switch timer is now up, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to be able to fight this straight up 1v1. At this point, I also would recommend, with the current state of Scald and the fact that, again, switch timer's up, just throw the Mud Bombs. Even if you land the Scald, rather, you're playing outpace, you have 2 shields. I think you're just trying to throw Mud Bomb instead. But we shield this, so this also shows that we lose CMP. Again, we did not know Annihilate exactly was the Pokemon in the back, but we lose CMP here. And he shields the Scald and we don't get a debuff. So we still have a shield advantage. We still need 2 moves to kill. And we shield this. Again, we know we're going to lose CMP. We're also... Annihilate is every 4 counters to Night Slash. And I do like the overfarm here. It allows us to... Their opponent comes in, tries to catch, but because of the overfarm, we get into a slightly better position than we were in. We are going to win CMP versus the Lickitung, and also we just hit 100 energy, so we're going to throw. I think there was a slight overtap there, but it doesn't super matter here. Boom, and 1 Mud Shot to kill. So now, we don't have any shields left is the problem. We need 2 Mud Bombs to kill. Here comes the first one. Counter goes through. And the second one comes in right there as we CMP tie. So, being able to have more energy going into the fight at the beginning would allow us to pressure faster, throwing the Mud Bomb at the beginning instead of the Scald, throwing maybe 2 Mud Bombs before the opponent switches out into the Lickitung rather than the Scald, could also have gotten us to another Mud Bomb 1 turn, or rather 1 turn cycle rather, before Annihilate gets to this counter, and that Mud Bomb definitely would have killed. So tiny little details there, but it really comes down to the position that this Azumarill is in here. How do we want to force our opponent to play out the back? When you're in this position and you have 1 single Pokemon in the back that has to basically get 3 different KOs, you want to give it as much of an advantage as possible. At this point, I think just undercharging is your best option. So, have you guys ever been in that situation? You have 1 Pokemon versus 3. How did you go about playing out the battle? Did you win? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you liked the video, don't forget to smack that like button. We'll be bringing more of the usual GBL and tournament videos to you guys, but we're also going to be dipping into this coaching thing a little more. It's been something we've been working on quite a bit on the side through like local servers and stuff, but now we're going to start bringing it to YouTube a little bit. So hopefully you guys learned something, and this helps some of you guys out in your own battles. And our IRL Pokemon of the day is Shadow. Here we go. Come here, buddy. Hey, buddy. You're on camera. You have anything to say?